Happy Monday, 8th graders. Sorry I couldn't be there with you today, but we are going to be working through your personal narrative draft. And today what we're going to talk about are the first three body paragraphs, the only three body paragraphs that you will write in this paper. As you can see, we are asking today that you start with the body paragraphs. We'll worry about the introduction and conclusion later. I don't expect you to finish all three of the body paragraphs, but I would like you to get as good of a start as possible on these three body paragraphs. So what I'm going to do is talk you through each one of the body paragraphs, and you can use this video as you need to work through them in order. If you only get one done today, hopefully you can work on them in some of the other classes, but hopefully you'll get 1 to 2, I would say, would be a good ballpark estimate as to where you should get. The whole point of this paper, we're calling it a personal narrative, the whole point of this paper is for you to be able to introduce yourself, give me and your classmates an idea of who you are and some of your interests, some of your plans for the future, and hopefully that'll give you a chance to practice your writing, but also give us a chance to get to know you. It should be one of the easier papers because the subject is you, and hopefully you know yourself pretty well. So let's start out by talking about the first body paragraph. Everybody is going to, in their first body paragraph, talk about their family. Okay, and some things I would encourage you to write about, but you don't have to write about any of these things. You can decide to take it whatever direction you want, but everyone's going to write about their family. You might choose to write about your parents. You might choose to write about your siblings, unless you're like me and you're an only child, then you would leave that out. You could choose to write about anyone else that is in your family as well. Maybe you look at your dog and say, you know what, our dog is just a huge part of our family, and you want to write about your dog. Last year I had a student who had a cousin who was a professional linebacker in the NFL, Chad Greenway. Some of you have heard that name. He plays for the Vikings, and so they wrote about their cousin Chad Greenway, who they knew pretty well. And anything else that maybe makes your family unique. So think about some of the things that you might want to highlight or share. Please note that you will be turning this paper into a speech later on, so don't write about anything that you wouldn't feel comfortable sharing with your classmates. Okay? If it's something that makes you uncomfortable, by all means, leave it out. You don't have to write about anything in particular. So I'll give you an idea of how you might want to start that. First thing you'll notice here that I'm doing is changing the font size to 12. That's about where you'd want to be so that you can see it a little easier. I'll put it at size 18 as I write. First thing I will do is tab in for my paragraph. Please tab in your paragraphs. And the first thing that we want to start out with is a topic sentence. So I will, of course, use the word family in my topic sentence because that's what my whole paragraph is going to be about. And I will say, my family is important to me and a huge part of my life. Okay, that's a topic sentence that will give my readers an idea of where I'm coming from with my family. And then I'm going to start going into specifics. My father, Andy, is someone who I look up to and have come to know as a friend. Okay, so I'm first starting out talking about my dad. You can choose to start out talking about any family member that you like. You might want to talk about some of the things that make them interesting. He is a retired Spanish teacher, and I actually So I'm saying something unique and something interesting about the people in my family. What I don't want this paragraph to turn into for you is a laundry list of all the people in your family. I don't want to see it say, my dad is so-and-so, and my mom is so-and-so, and my brother is so-and-so, and just on down the line. What I would like it to be is a chance for you to show off your ability to explain, for you to have a chance to show off who makes your family unique and interesting. So don't feel like you have to talk about everybody. Highlight maybe 2 or 3 people in your family and then explain to us about them. Tell us about them in some way. Now I'm writing my next sentence, and I'll transition into another person in my family. Notice now that I'm talking about somebody different, but since it's still someone in my family, I'm going to keep it in the same paragraph. Just as my father is an important part of my family, comma, so too is my mother. Okay. My mom, Mary, taught me many important things in life. Okay, and now that's a good sentence, but here's the key part as you go forward and as you're writing your paper. You want to be thinking about specifics. Okay, this sentence right here where I talk about my dad being a Spanish teacher, that's an important thing. For my mom, I want to think about some of those specific important things that she taught me in life. And again, this is a chance for me to show off my personality, show off some of my interests in life. So I'm going to say perhaps the most important thing, and I'm being kind of facetious here, joking a little bit, she taught me is how to make the perfect grilled cheese sandwich. My mom makes the best grilled cheese sandwiches in the world, and she taught me how to do that. And now she lives in Wisconsin, I live in Iowa, so I'm still able to use that. So that's an example of one of those specific kind of sentences that you want to have in your body paragraphs. Use specifics as much as possible. Okay, show, don't tell is something we'll talk about a lot this year as writers, and this is a showing sentence here, the perfect grilled cheese sandwich. I might even go a little bit further in depth as I start revising this and start to talk about the consistency of the cheese or how to get the browned bread just right. You know, that crispiness of the bread. Those are the kind of things that I'd like to see you talking about. Once I'm finished with that paragraph, and I would continue talking about that, but once I'm finished with that paragraph, talking about the people in my family, then I can go on to the next body paragraph. Interests. What do you like to do for fun and why? And I'm going to make that simple. I'm going to leave that up to you. Choose some of the things that you look at and say, these are the things that I really like to do in life. Okay, again, like we said, use size 12 font. I'll use size 18 just so you can see it a little bit better. Tab in my paragraph. And I'll use a little bit of a transition, so I'm showing that I'm going from talking to family now to interests. So for my topic sentence, I'll say, in addition to family being an important part of my life, my interests are also something that make me unique. One of my favorite things to do when I'm not teaching or spending time with my family is playing golf. Okay? And now, just saying playing golf is one of my interests is not necessarily cutting it. What I want you to think about is describing that, showing how you as a writer can make that unique. So think about what it is in particular that you enjoy doing. You can list 2, maybe 3, but more importantly than just saying, I like to play Xbox, I like to hang out with friends, describe why. Okay, and that's why I have this word why here. Describe why you like to do that. So I would probably follow that up with a sentence that says, the reason I enjoy golf so much is because, and I would describe that. I talk about the fact that golf is an incredibly hard game, that it's fun to be out in nature, that I enjoy playing it with my friends, those kind of things. I enjoy teaching my son and daughter how to play the game. Those are the kinds of things that I would go on to describe to get a really nice, well-developed paragraph. Okay? And then my last body paragraph, and some of you may get to this today, we'll give you some time tomorrow and into Wednesday, and we'll talk about them too. But the last body paragraph is called The Future You. And what I mean by that is, where are you going? You're not going to be in 8th grade your whole life. What are some things that you're looking forward to doing? And I know that's kind of a tough question to answer as a 13, 14-year-old, but talk about some of the things that you hope to accomplish going forward, some of your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, some questions that might get you thinking. And don't feel like you have to answer all of these, but some questions that students have used in the past for this paragraph, talking about maybe where they went to college, talking about some subjects they'd like to study when they were in college. You don't necessarily know what your major is going to be. I had no clue what I was going to study when I went to college, but I'll be honest with you, when I was in 8th grade, I thought I was going to be a dentist. So I would have written, I want to be a dentist, I want to study science, and those are some of the things that I would have written about. Talk about where you want to live. Do you want to live in Marshalltown, or do you want to go live someplace else? Maybe you want to live in California or Florida, or maybe you want to live overseas. Maybe say, you know what, I'd really like to live in Europe. Those are all different things you could talk about. Big thing though is tell me why. Why is it that you want to study that? Why would you like to have that job? Those are the kind of things that you can work toward. Again, I'll give you one example of a topic sentence just in case you start out writing that. As for the future me, I hope to, and then you can describe. I hope to go to college at Iowa State and study science, or I hope to go to MCC and figure out what I want to do with my life for 2 years, and then I'll decide from there. Those are the kind of things that you could talk about. So do your best. If you have any questions as far as how to do it, just do your best to get something written. Ms. Stalzer, your sub, will be able to help you out as well. The big thing today is make sure you are being productive, make sure that you are writing. It should be a silent atmosphere for writing. There's no need to talk to anybody else. If you have any questions as far as how to start it, I did put the Google Classroom codes down below. I would like you to start this in Google Classroom, so please go to Google Classroom to start this assignment. It will be listed there, and you can go to create and then a document and go ahead and start typing. If you have problems with any of that, just start a Google document on your own. Don't let that be the reason why you didn't start this. But most of you, having written the Marshmallow Challenge Reflection, should be able to take care of that pretty easily. So thank you for your hard work and your efforts today. Tomorrow we'll take a look and see what you've gotten accomplished. If you have any questions, please ask Ms. Stalzer. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.